exclamation mark sub20 in the chat. I'll type it in as well. Okay, perfect. So guys, sorry for the little bit of a delay getting into this, but a long load screen. We're set to go now. We have to the bottom right hand side our red pros player from Invasion Esports. It is Harstem. And to the top left is going to be our blue term player. It is of course ByuN. Feels ignored, so sad. I refreshed my chat, so I didn't actually. I may have missed some messages and stuff. So apologies if I did. As we just set this up and wait to see what's going to happen. It's Dasan Station. It's a weird map to start on. It's a weird map to start on, so I'm intrigued to see kind of how this develops, what these players are going to try and get up to in these early stages here. And you're seeing a Nexus starting up here from Harstem. So he starts up a Nexus just in the back, nothing crazy from him just yet. I mean, ByuN's on double gas. This is something Harstem sees. So it'll be ByuN being the aggressor and Harstem having to go into defense mode, I imagine, in these early stages. As he comes on in, just going to be having a little bit of a look around to see what's up and what's happening. So probe just coming through the scout. The factory is on the way up. It's about halfway done. And just going to see this adept checking, this probe checking around to see what is indeed happening. So just seeing what he can spot. Just going to keep the probe to the right hand side here, which means it might just come back in at a later point to try and be a bit of a nuisance once again. Scout later. I mean, this is an area which ByuN is not generally going to wall off throughout the game, at least not early on. So we'll see what comes of that as we have the factory going to be finishing here from ByuN. And we have the reactor on the barracks going to be finishing up in just a few moments' time as well. Robo facility starts up from Harstem over in the main base. Just going to be seeing this adept going to be popping out in a couple of moments as well. So adept pops out in just a moment or two. And we are going to be seeing this probe of Harstem still over to the right hand side. So probe of Harstem still over to the right hand side, and we are just going to be seeing him with an adept sat atop the ramp. And I mean, his opening here is very standard in terms of defending some kind of one base aggression. Fast robo facility. Not going to play with two tech structures early, so notice Twilight Council with this robo. And just go into some extra gateways as he can afford them as well. It's going up to 3 gates in total most likely. And that should be a good setup for him here to defend in the early stages. It's going to be seeing this adept and the stalker from Harstem just sat atop the ramp. Going to be seeing a couple more marines going to be popping out in a moment or two. And well, as the medevac comes out, we'll see this wooden mine drop coming in. I imagine ByuN's commitment here is with the Cyclone on the way up already. Is just going to be very much so focused on a very, that siege tank medevac, liberator sort of attack with the Cyclone maybe to help out as well. We're going to be very aggressive, whatever happens here. So that's what we're looking towards. Is well, Harstem has an observer to begin his defense and another one on the way. I'd like to see him just going into the Immortal very soon as well, though. Anything you can get that's going to be really useful to help him anything that's really powerful to help shut this down, I think would be really, really great. So you can see here, Wooden Mine coming in. The overcharge is going to go down. Oh no, though, the observer's out of position. Second observer about to pop, so he will clean this up. And it will go down pretty swiftly, but 3 workers killed. And we're going to see 1 marine, which has gone around, actually, I guess, hunting down that probe on the right-hand side. He's going to be lifting up. So 7 marines in the medevac. Cyclone, more marines coming across. Now the tank will start coming across as well as the liberator. Setting this up and getting ready to go. So here we go. ByuN are going to be starting to move up this ramp. Marines, the Cyclone, and the Liberator as well, seeing what they can do. Cyclone locks on. Stalker's continuing to fire here, and Cyclone has to drop back down once again. So Cyclone does drop back down as Marines will move forwards, and again, just looking to see what he can maybe get up to. I see another Stalker from Harstem, a couple of Stalkers from Harstem warping in here. I'm just going to be seeing this Cyclone locking onto the gateway. Stalkers continue to push on forwards, and he's actually going to try and get rid of this Liberator. And actually, Harstem seems to have enough units, but the Immortal should be targeting down the Cyclone, I feel. Actually, this was kind of weird because Harstem spent so long kind of firing onto the Liberator and the Liberator and like the Cyclone there and the Medevac that he didn't actually clean out many units at all. So, although Harstem's army looked okay against this, ByuN has actually just attacked on it, and he is doing some damage. He's going to be cleaning out a whole bunch of extra probes, more and more workers going down, and I think Harstem might have just kind of ran out of steam here in game number 1. It's a very strong army composition of ByuN that's not easy to come play from behind against, and that's definitely the situation Harstem now finds himself in. An overcharge goes down. He needs to target the medevac. He does get it, but not before it's he kind of negated some of the overcharge shots through cool little pieces of micro. Siege tank here will have to be careful though. Mortal coming out will push forwards, and the tank is very low. We'll now siege up. Harstem holding on here. Doesn't want to tap out just yet. Still has 2 gates remaining in the back of this. Pushing on forwards. He will get rid of the siege tank nice and quickly. We'll get out of the liberation zone. He's got another tank here to fight against, but he doesn't target it. Barrier goes down. Not getting the tank kill there, maybe, or targeting the tank is maybe a bit of a shame. No, Bishop Core has to pull away. Will go down though. Had an overcharge left, but isn't going to get a chance to use it. So another little mistake here. Lots of just small micro mistakes adding up from Harstem, it would seem. And that's what's kind of making this very difficult for him to hold off against. Although that being said, he's starting to get rid of the final siege tank here. 2 Marines in the front still, and they will get 1 last Stalker kill. And that will be that. So more Marines just going down at the very end here. And there's a Stalker starting to warp in from Harstem. You'll see these 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers still just moving around as well. And there's that tank just going to be sieging up, and Marines just working their way through this assimilator. So continue to work their way through that. Assimilator going to be getting taken down as you see this Immortal coming forwards and continue to push on in. And these Marines continue to be pushed back as well. That tank just going to drop down again here. And it's going to be seeing this Liberator from ByuN. Just coming up to being about halfway done. Siege tank is started too. I'm going to be seeing a couple more Marines coming across the map and looking to see what exactly they can get up to. Just a couple of tanks continue to see what's happening now, dropping up towards the high ground, and I'm just going to be seeing here these Marines pushing on in and continue to work their way against this simulator. I mean, Harstem is actually holding on here overall. I mean, it's been a very messy game, a very scrappy game back and forth. Hard to really tell what's been happening and who's been taking the real advantage, but Harstem has survived, and that's a big part of this here. You know, his Cybernetics causing power, that doesn't matter. His assimilator is almost dead, but if it's still up, then that doesn't matter either. And as we'll be seeing Harstem, with his army getting stronger and stronger, will continue to be able to fight against this Terran army. And, you know, with a second Immortal coming out shortly, he does start to look a little bit better for himself. What else is going on here? I mean, back at home from ByuN, he did end up expanding down onto the gold base. Got a bunker here and a tank too. Very well defended already, as he has now Stimpack starting up. So he's up to a very standard sort of 3 racks factory starport composition. More or less what you'd expect to see at this sort of stage. Observer of Harstem just coming over to the left hand side. Does just see kind of a bunker, a turret, a siege tank as well. A few Marines going to sit on the ramp as Marines and tanks actually going to fall back home now. So ByuN's kind of done with his early aggression. And it's going to be one of those weird situations which we don't see too often, where this aggressive one-base play from ByuN is going to pull out and do enough damage to put him even, but not too much damage to be ahead. And so we're going to see a very sort of even game from this point on. Harstem maybe a little bit down in terms of economy, because ByuN does have that gold base. Although the gold base will mine out a little bit faster, something you can keep in mind here. Harstem will have access to his own gold base in the near future too, so he will make up for that at some point. The question is because it's happening early, is that going to be something which, again, comes back to haunt him a little bit here? Is he just going to put him maybe a little bit too far behind in the early stages? Another scan going to be coming down. I'm actually going to be seeing these Stalkers moving across the map. The Immortals around the right side as well. It's an interesting position over here because there isn't kind of the defensive setup in the back as there is at the front out of ByuN. More Stalkers going to be coming across. I mean, Harstem's army is kind of scary. I mean, ByuN's army is also kind of scary. And I guess as long as he can get enough tanks into position in time, then he should be sort of okay against this. And he'll have plenty of pre-warning as well, because you know what? These depots are going to give him the idea that this army is indeed already moving forwards here. So, moving in, we're going to see his force field coming down. He's going to start targeting one of the tanks with an Immortal. Has to lift it up, though, with the Warp Prism now, due to just not really being able to, you know, just taking too much damage, really. He doesn't want to lose it. However, this fight is not really working out too well for him. The tank continuing to fire away from a distance and just adding so much damage onto this army of Harstem. You're going to see a few more Adepts just warping in here, and just going to see a couple of tanks dropping down again and just continue to work their way against all of this. So a couple of Stalkers going to lift up from Harstem too, and just going to be seeing the third next of Harstem going to be coming on in here. Going to be finishing up in just a few moments time. So third next to Harstem will indeed finish up, and he will continue to pull across the map right now. So continuing to pull across the map, and we're just going to be seeing A few probes just sat around on this gold base. Continue to see what's up, continue to see what is happening. 3 tanks moving forwards and just seeing what they might be able to get up to right now, and they are just going to look to fire. Gold Stalker's getting shot away at as well. Mortal going to be taking a little bit of damage, and just going to be seeing the units starting to push forwards here once again. So units pushing forwards, and going to be seeing those Marines just coming forwards and just looking to see what they can do. Still trying to trade against this, and the sentry going to go down. There's the Immortal going down as well. And well, the counter-attack from ByuN is just going to be too much. Harstem's lost a little bit too much just leading up, building into that throughout what's going on here on the channel, guys. So if you do enjoy, hit the follow button and see when we're live again in the future. You can check us out on YouTube as well. We'll keep up to everything that's WardiTV at wardi.tv, our website. I'm going to be working on getting a schedule set up too, so you guys can see when we're live and what's going on, what's happening around the place. So we'll be working on that, and that'll be coming up in the near future as well. So keep your eyes out, keep your eyes open basically. Lots of stuff going on that you guys can tune in for. To the bottom right hand side of Frozen Temple, he's going to be down again, but can he fight back? It's going to be our Blue Protoss player from Invasion Esports. It's Harstem. To the upper left, our Red Terran player, it is of course ByuN, our GSL champion. Harstem, just again that last game, just to recap quickly what exactly happened. I mean, he held, not in the best of positions, but he held. But the problem was after he held, then he actually attacked, and that attack didn't do anything for him. That was not good at all. It's such a weird map because the composition that ByuN was playing is just so powerful that Harstem probably felt as though he maybe had to do something. It's interesting. I wonder why that map made it to the map pool. I wonder who didn't veto it. What did we get vetoed instead? Well, maybe Apotheosis? I don't know. I don't know what you veto. It's a weird map because it's strong for pros, it's strong for Terran Dastan Station, but in different ways and in different stages of the game, it's just completely broken for either race, I think. Or very powerful for either race, I suppose. Factory going to be proxied here out of ByuN. He's going to keep on mixing up his build orders here throughout this series. It's the first time we've seen ByuN today. He 2-0'd Strange earlier, so he 2-0'd Strange earlier, and now here he is in the semi-finals against Harstem. 1-0 up. In his second game, looking to get into a little bit of an advantage here in the early stages. It is the final day of the BlizzCon goal as well, guys. If you want to donate to help support me going to BlizzCon. At BlizzCon, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different content. I'm going to be vlogging. I'm going to be doing some sort of small content with kind of other people, like StarCraft viewers and stuff like that. Some news-based content too. So that's all going to be happening at BlizzCon. If you want to support that, you can donate today. Tomorrow we'll have a free, new, fresh donation goal up and set to go. It's another exciting one, and you'll know all about that in tomorrow's stream for the OSC Community Open. SCV of ByuN just going to be pulling back towards the upper left-hand side. This factory actually spotted here by Harstem, so I actually see the factory lifting up. Wouldn't mind first, wouldn't mind just going to burrow and, well, Harstem, nice little start to be able to shut that down. Starport built at home from ByuN. Going to go into medevac, so again, I mean, he might just try and play aggressively. He's on double gas, right? So he's probably going to go into like a tech lab follow-up or so, and I was going to say, like, if he is going to go into Tech Lab Factory follow-up, where's he going to... I stopped after Tech Lab because I was like, well, actually, what's he going to Tech Lab? Because the factory's floating home. But no, he actually lands the Tech Lab in the middle of the factory, in the middle of the map, and builds the Tech Lab here. I mean, it's just going to amplify the speed of this push, the speed of reinforcements of those slow-moving tanks and so on. So we've seen a few Marines just joined up in the center of the map. Probe from... Harstem. Built a pylon over here. He's going to be pulling back now. Sees the Marines in the medevac moving across. Does he spot the factory? That'd be a really good telltale sign as to what he's actually playing against right now. He is once again opening in a similar way to the last game where he's got the robo up and now going up to 3 gateways in total. A bit of an easier map to defend on in a lot of ways. You have a bit more space in your natural to work with to actually make this defense happen. Compared to Dastan, where it sounds weird because usually kind of having an attack up a ramp is going to be a disadvantage for the player, but in this case, it might even be better for Harstem because there's no ledge for the tanks to abuse or choke points and so on. It's sort of a weird way to sort of think about it. Anyways, we'll see Overcharge going down, and Stalker's actually having a good time picking off a few Marines here early. So a few Marines getting picked off here early as we're going to be seeing probes pulled into this. Harstem Not going to mess around, just says, you know what, I'm going to clean this up early, just going to push this back and stop you from really continuing to kind of be a presence on the map. Probe's continuing to pull out here, pulls away now. The tank shot is big. Probe's taking so much damage to that. As 3 more Stalkers warp in, but Harstem is pushing his opponent away and taking that position. Oh my god, the medevac, the medevac, the medevac! Left the tank inside of it for so long there, just about is going to save the tank as well. No way. ByuN's just so good with this sort of micro, you know. Time after time we see him save, and you just don't expect to see being saved. And now Harstem is once again going to find himself losing more Stalkers. This Immortal here is, well, coming out to try and help, but he's just lost so much already. So much of this build order from the Terran players momentum based. It's, if you get a good start, then it can just get worse and worse for the Protoss, and allowing this good start from the Terran player to kind of pick off so many Stalkers means it's so much more difficult now from Harstem to get something else done against it. 3 tanks here, Liberator 2. ByuN's been allowed to set up. He's been allowed to set up into an aggressive position, and we're just going to be seeing this overcharge popped over on the natural expansion. We're going to be seeing a few Marines just going to be popping up here. Probe goes down, Immortal pushed up the ramp, and that Stalker is going to be going down as well. Stalker also going down here. We're just going to be seeing the Marines continue to work their way against the Nexus. Going to be seeing a Liberator siege, and well, just a few probes going in. We'll continue to try and fight against this here, as we do see the siege tank is going to get cleaned up. So siege tank is going to get cleaned up, and just going to be seeing the defense from Harstem. Wow, I mean, you got to remember how kind of powerful Immortals are, I suppose, because they are very kind of, you know, they do have a lot of damage onto those siege tanks, and if they pick off this next siege tank too, that'd be huge. Liberator siege up to help push this away, and it will stop Harstem from advancing across the map. Thing is, though, Harstem lost a lot of workers in that, but he's still 2 bases against 1, so it's not so bad for him. You know, he's 17 workers lost, but he's on 27 to 24 workers, so he's still okay in this. And we've seen these this War Prism lifting up a couple of Immortals. They're going to go around the side here. Going to be looking to set up and drop on top of the tank, perhaps. Get a little bit more damage done. He is going to pick off that one tank there. The Marine goes down. This tank, too, is going to be picked off here. Nice trades by Harstem, and he's starting to really make a defense out of this now. Tech Lab will go down, and so the factory will be forced to back away. And, well, Harstem will counterattack again here, and maybe with a little bit more opportunity than what he had the last game where he counterattacked. Didn't work out too well for him there. As we're going to be seeing this Liberator going to go down the left-hand side. Stalkers continue to push across. Liberator sieges up, but I mean, there's plenty of space for him to get damage done around here. I mean, he's going to be able to pick off at a supply depot there. He's got high ground vision due to the Warp Prism when it's close enough. So depot going to go down, and I mean, there's so much opportunity to just keep on trading this sort of position. And the thing is, too, now Harstem's the one pressuring, but it's ByuN who's still only on 1 base. Stalkers going to be working their way through this factory, which is trying to make it back home as well. I mean, no factory landed in building means no no tank production, no cyclone production. A lot of the units which are very, very sort of important here and powerful here are not going to work out for him. You'll see that factory just going to be moving over. We're going to be seeing the reactor starting to build. I'm just going to be seeing the War Prism just going to be moving up to the top side, and again looking to see how things are going to be going. It's going to be dropping in here. Just going to be seeing that SCV taking a little bit of damage. I mean, the thing is, Harstem has such a great position in the game. The CT trying to build up from his opponent, but he's got so much potential all over the place. Pick off another depot here, a depot there. War Prism's around, he drops back in, tries to kill off a SCV. Also, actually targeting down the command center at the moment. He does have barriers, and that means he can save the Immortals, although he lets one die. A little bit of a micro mistake by Harstem, but still picks off the CC. Really just forcing ByuN to be super all in with this army. As ByuN is actually going to start fighting right now, coming down the ramp. There's no stim pack, only combat shields, but for now the combat shields is going to be enough. As these Stalkers are going to be pushed away through the center of the map, and Immortal going to drop back in, see what else he can do. He's going to start targeting down stim pack here. I mean, the War Prism taking some damage. He's going to really target down that stim pack. It's going to go down. No stim. Okay, I mean, Harstem continue to do things which just forces ByuN into a worse and worse position now in the game. Stalker's going to continue backing away to the bottom right. A few more Adepts, a couple more Stalkers coming into play. The 2 more Sentries joining up as well to join in with those rest of these units. Liberator from ByuN continue to come down into location here. Stalker's going to push forwards, immediately taking down one Liberator. We're going to be seeing another Liberator sieging up as well. Stalkers and Adepts just pulling back, and Overcharge goes down on the mineral line, on the pylon at the front here to protect this natural mineral line. Stop anything from getting too close to it. And this Liberator just set up in the skies, but it's not going to be enough, and ByuN knows it. Harstem making enough good plays. Yeah, sorry, just had to lean in to check something. My expert's so small, man. Sometimes I can't actually see what's going on. Alright. we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map is going to be our red Pro player from Invasion Esports. It is Harstem. He's going to be going up against the blue Terran player to the bottom left-hand side. It is, of course, ByuN. Now, we just see a depot building up at the front here from ByuN, so that's nothing too crazy. Let's follow this SCV across the map, perhaps, or towards the barracks building, as that starts up in a bit of an interesting location as well. I've got another shout out very quickly to make Farflame. Is going to donate as well. Thank you very much, Farflame, for the £5. I saw it come out as £5 on PayPal. Thank you very much for the £5, the $6.50. And he says, hi Wardy, BlizzCon or whatever. Thank you very much. Can we get some love in the chat for Farflame as well, please? Thank you very much, guys. Donation train hype. Donation train hype. Thank you very much, Farflame. Farflame's, guys, someone who he's been around the stream forever, actually. Long time subscriber. Just recently resubscribed. I've been a sub a long time ago. Was one of the people who supported us a lot in the past as well. So thank you very much, Farflame, for the donation. Let's see the love in the chat, please, guys. Let's see those hearts. Let's see the Nexus on the way up on the natural expansion out of Harstem here in the early stages of the game. Just expanding. ByuN is going to be going for... I mean, it's interesting, right? Harstem actually comes across the map. He sees the barracks and the factory building at the front here. It's such a weird location to build in. It's not what, it's not where you'd expect to be building your barracks or your factory in at all. So, it's a little bit interesting. We're going to be seeing this probe just patrolling over to the left-hand side, and well, we see a reactor is starting to build on up here. Factory is, again, as we mentioned, on the way. And he's gone into a second gas, so ByuN's going to be playing aggressively here again. He does not want to play macro, apparently, today. Apparently that is not what he wants to do at all, so just wants to keep on being aggressive, and he's going to do pretty much the exact same build as what he's been doing in game 1 and 2, where he's going to go into the reactors on the barracks. He's going to go into this tech lab with the factory. He's actually going to bypass the Wither Mine drop this time around. He's going to go straight into the siege tank attack. So, I mean, let's see how it works out for him on New Gettysburg. I mean, you might think it's a weird map to do it on, but to be fair, it's going to be a fairly short rush distance, given the fact he'll just come through this bottom pathway. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that. It can work. We've actually seen a few players doing it in this sort of map, and especially in this sort of way as well, to kind of wall off here and then build the buildings here as well. It's just they're a little bit closer, you know? We're just going to be seeing the tank about halfway done on the factory, and we're just going to be seeing a probe just coming into just coming up the top side here. So probe just coming up the top side and just looking to see what he can maybe get done with that. I mean, for now though, he has to focus pretty much everything on his defense. This attack hits much earlier than the attacks we've seen previously from ByuN, so does have to focus a little bit on this, as we'll see Marines in a tank moving through the bottom side. I'm going to be having a look to see what exactly they can get up to. A couple of stalkers from Harstem are going to be just patrolling backwards and forwards just down the ramp. And through the bottom side we go. Marines, a tank, and a couple of SCVs. And so here we go. We're going to be seeing ByuN just sieging up a tank and getting set up and ready to go. We're going to be seeing this tank lifting, just moving a little bit further forward. Stalkers will take a little bit more damage perhaps. Harstem, good stuff so far, pulling away, not allowing himself to take unnecessary damage on his initial stalkers. I mean, that's the exact sort of thing he needs to be sort of setting up into here. He's not going to build that pylon, as he's just going to commit in right now. I feel as though the pylon was maybe actually a pretty good, decent idea for him to kind of commit to, because then he has another pylon to warp in from, but obviously he decides, well, I'm going to break out of this now or never, so why waste the money on a pylon, I guess? Mothership core goes down, only one overcharge used here. 9 probes killed. A couple of SCVs go down. Where's that? Is it across the map? I don't think so. I think it's just a couple of SCVs pulled across here. Maybe to build a bunker or two. Pylon going to go down now, and Harstem does lose potential to kind of warp in on this position. Please target with the Immortal. That's something he has not been doing before. It's something which someone at Harstem's level should be able to do. And it makes a big difference here. It would change up the kind of how well he trades against these units. For now, the tank and the Cyclone still surviving, but the Immortal also still on full health. With a second Immortal about to pop, Harstem warping in from the high ground now again. That's why that pylon on the low ground might have been a worthwhile commitment. Might have been something that paid off for him here. You're going to see this tank doing a little bit more damage again. Harstem going to come in from the top side and from the south as we lag at a really bad time. Very bad time to have a little bit of a lag spike there. So we're going to be seeing the tank coming back in. And we're going to be seeing, well, the Liberator going to get cleaned up by the Stalkers. This Immortal here still fighting as well and continuing to clean on up. And Harstem is going to clean this out. You'll see these couple of Marines going down as well. And yeah, Harstem's going to clean this up, and boom, all of a sudden, he's defended, he's on an extra expansion, and very similar situation to the last game. He doesn't even really need to go across the map like what he's doing at this point in time. Pushing across the bottom side of the map at the moment is not a good way to go. Is not a good way to go. As we're going to be seeing these stalkers from Harstem continue to move through the south side. A couple of tanks firing onto the stalkers and clean up a couple of them. That's when I think Harstem realizes, okay, this isn't a good idea. So ByuN will probably be able to defend himself. The question is, how much can he catch up, considering he's still got to build up that CC. So initially here gets one probe kill with the Liberator, and then, I mean, look at this. ByuN just backs away immediately, knowing he's going to get targeted down very quickly or very soon after. So that's nice. Really just smart little play from him there. Just minimizing the damage. We're just going to be seeing a few more stalkers just joining up together. A couple of zealots too. Pile onto the top left, does get found. Scan comes down. You actually see the Immortals dropping forwards. There's only so many medevacs. There's only one medevac here, to be honest. So you can only lift up so many tanks at a time. We're going to see these tanks continue to be dropped microed. Dropping back down. Going to pick off this tech lab. And this is the thing. I mean, little pickoffs like this slow ByuN down so much. It's almost crazy how much it slows him down. We're going to be seeing this warp prism coming to the south side now, and just going to try and relocate. We're going to see that command center on the natural expansion is going to be set up and ready to go here in a few moments as well. A couple more tanks is going to be sieging up now, and they're going to lift on up here, and as them two Immortals is going to be dropping forwards, we're going to be seeing the Viking coming in to push this warp prism away. So warp prism is being pushed back through the bottom side of the map. Two tank evacs are still continuing to come in over to the right as well. And the probe just building up on the natural expansion. So continue to build that up here. And here we go. Just going to be seeing these units continue to push on forward. So Liberator are also going to be sieging up as well. And just going to see one Adept just moving forwards. Just shading on forwards a little bit. I mean, for Harstem, it's all about just defending. It's all he has to do. You can even... I guess in a way he has to be careful because there is an expansion up for his opponent. So he has to engage correctly. He's very well spread out to the top side. But Marines are currently attacking in towards his natural. You know what? He didn't rebuild a mothership core. He did build a mothership core, but they overcharged very late to come in. The Immortals get around the back, though. They're going to start picking away at the tanks, but they're very much so on their own. So he gets one of the tanks, but that's about it. Overcharge still helping out here and there. Stalker's trying to fight. I think Harstem doesn't really have enough. I think ByuN does have enough to push through. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing. GG from Harstem. ByuN with the same build and the right up and ready to go. The bottom left-hand side is going to be our blue Terran player. Sorry, guys, I didn't realize the colors were quite so bad when we went into this. Our blue Terran player to the bottom left-hand side is going to be ByuN. And he's going to be going up against the teal Protoss player. The teal Protoss player to the top left is going to be Invasion Esports Harstem. Alright, so... setting up into this, we're going to be having a look to see how things are going to be going in the next few moments. We're going to see a gateway starting to build up from Harstem as well. So gateway starting up from him here, and just getting this set up with a gas first from ByuN, and that means he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Harstem seems to be in form. Now you're really curious whether he actually beat True if it was a walkover. He did beat True 2-0. They played the games. It was initially a walkover, then True managed to show up and saw his internet and they decided to play. And Harstem did win 2-0. So yes, it was indeed played out. It was a legitimate win by our godly Dutch Protoss player. You're going to see this command center just continuing to kind of build up here. You're going to see this SCV coming down towards the bottom right hand side map. So SCV just continue to come down towards the bottom right hand side, and just looking to see what's up, just looking to see what is going to be going on in the early stages of the game. So SCV seeing what's up, and there's that probe from Harstem coming down to the bottom left. And you know what? He's going to see sort of, well, no expansion just yet. And it's again going to be Harstem's just asking himself, what on earth are you doing yourself once again now? What on earth are you doing once more in this? When is BlizzCon? BlizzCon 4th of November and 5th of November, right? The Tuesday is the 1st of November, Wednesday 2nd, Thursday 3rd, Friday the 4th, and then Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th. 6th of October is WESG, European Regional Finals. So we're going to be seeing an Adept, just going to be shading out here from Harstem, going to be moving out onto the map. So Adept from Harstem just moving onto the map, and I'm just looking to pick up some more information. The expansion here from ByuN does come down, albeit a little bit later than expected. And he's just going to be getting a couple of Hellions out early. This is something we've been seeing, obviously, as sort of became something you can do in the TvP. It's not something you do every game, but it's something you can do to mix things up. Get a couple of Hellions out, and they're going to allow you to scout around the map a little bit, run into a mineral line, get some early damage done, and just sort of see what's going to be happening. We're going to be seeing these 2 Hellions moving on in. And, well, an Adept going to be shading up the ramp here, and just going to be seeing Hellions being chased by that Adept right now. So, going to be seeing the couple of probes going to be going down. I'm just going to be seeing the another few probes going down as well. So, about 5 workers killed off here. About 5 workers killed off, and Adept's just having a pretty good time. I'm going to come back down to the low ground now. So, back down to the low ground, and again, looking to see what else they might be able to get up to. As we have seen a Stargate as the opening from Harstem. We mentioned this when we were playing against, and we were talking about Mana vs Ryung, I think, and Mana opened with a Stargate, and we said, we said, like, Harstem was one of these players who showed us a lot of Stargate-based play in the PvT. This is the first time he's really gotten to show us what he wants to do in kind of a macro-oriented game, where his opponent expands early. Wow. I don't believe that Widowmine should have gone off. He was not in range of that for very long at all. That's crazy. Loses the Oracle there. That's unfortunate. As we're going to be seeing the group of Marines just moving up towards the top left-hand side of the map. Just going to see the Marines just unloading. Just going to be seeing the Phoenix just targeting down the medevac, doing a little bit of damage onto it. So that medevac just going to be pushed away by the couple of Phoenix. So, a couple of Phoenix is going to be pushing the medevac away, and a few Adepts from Harstem going to be looking to set up and see what else is going to be going on. Third Nexus is going to be continuing to roll on out with some more probes, so probes continue to pop out here. I'm just going to see a probe going to be popping up to the high ground, putting down a pylon. Yeah, I mean, just a couple of Phoenix flying around, and a robo facility is coming up to being about halfway done, so it's going to be about halfway done there shortly, and Marines, Cyclone, Medevac, all joining themselves up together to see what they can get up to. Couple of Phoenix and an Oracle just sitting around. He actually built another Oracle, which is interesting. Obviously wants the revelation off of that. The Phoenix make a lot of sense. Something Harstem does like to do, use them to kind of shut down drop-based play, coming in towards his natural expansion and so on. You can see Marines and a Cyclone just joined up together here from ByuN at the moment. Just join these units up and seeing what he can get done with those, as we'll have now these couple of Phoenix and Oracle moving onto the map a little bit. I mean, the Phoenix can help as well against maybe kind of stopping a Cyclone locking onto the Oracle or so. Revelation comes down. It's going to give Harstem just the vision he needs to keep fighting against that, and knowing where his opponent is at all points. Both players with a third base setting up now, starting to mine. And yeah, just going to be seeing sort of the turret building on up here in the third base. So turret just going to be finishing up in a moment or two, and we're just going to be seeing the Oracle and Phoenix just continuing to move around. 4 gates on the way up from Harstem. 5th gate as well towards the upper left, so continue to set up into this as, again, plenty of Marines have been sort of revelated here. The Cyclone 2, and just going to see another revelation coming down, so good stuff so far. You're going to see the Phoenix coming in, just picking off a unit or so. I'm just going to be seeing the units still just moving around. Harstem just looking to see kind of what else is going to be happening, what else is going on. Scan comes down, and ByuN's going to be just keeping an eye on what's maybe happening towards the frontier. So Not too much, nothing too interesting. You can see those Marines just, again, starting to move out. I mean, it's been a very passive game, apart from the Oracle dropping some revelations and so on. Apart from that, not really too much going on. Another revelation, again, allowing Harstem to just identify where this army is at all points in time and get ready to fight against it. The Phoenix is going to be a big part of this because the Phoenix will allow him to kind of lift up the Cyclone, the Widow Mines, hunt down the Medivacs as well. And that allows the Adepts and whatever else to kind of have a pretty good time on the ground. So, pulling away initially as the first Widow Mines do burrow, wants to be fairly cautious about that, of course. Revelation also means he has consistent detection of Widow Mines. Ooh, Time Warp comes down. And the Overcharge, so 150 energy committed to the defense of this location for the next 15 seconds or so. It's a little bit interesting, a little bit intriguing. We're going to be seeing these couple of Medivacs going to load up, and I'm going to start to move out onto the map once again from ByuN. So I'm just going to start moving out towards the center, and ByuN just sat up to the top side. Still just not really being... I mean, he's taken position on the map, but we've not really seen him commit to anything. Here comes a Disruptor from Harstem. Again, we've talked a lot about the sort of different ways you can open with the Robo-Bay into the mid-game here for the Protoss. And, you know, sometimes we do see the Colossi straight away. Sometimes we do just see a Disruptor first. And there's going to be the Disruptor first this time around. 4 workers going down as these Adepts start to do a little bit of harassment here. It's just been a little bit of a nuisance. Could have got some more if the target firing was a bit more on point. He's going to come up this ramp, and actually, Harstem, he's pretty nearby. He's going to be able to clean this up and disrupt a shot. Going to get one of the 2 Widow Mines there. Still, this pylon is a little bit of a nuisance. Cyclone goes down. Oracle's got taken down as well, making it a little bit of an easier position to engage into. As Oracle taking a lot of damage, does fall here now to the right-hand side. And a small group of units coming into play as ByuN just to the left and the right at the same time, really pressuring Harstem into maybe making a mistake somewhere. Disruptor going to get targeted down. Another Disruptor popping out, though. No ship core still alive. We're still seeing this fight continuing. The Phoenix is going to get shot down by the Widow Mine. And this is going to be seen to the right-hand side. Well, Adepts will be the units to the left in position to try and keep on defending against this, cleaning out a few more, another Marauder or 2, a few more Marines as well. Widow Mine going off once again, and just those few extra units from ByuN just coming up to the top side and just doing a little bit of extra damage. Medivac comes in and just going to be unloading here once again. A couple more Marauders. This Marine continuing to pick away at just a few more units. Stalkers coming in. They will get rid of that Medivac in the sky. So they get rid of that. And this Marine Marauder and another Marauder going down shortly too. Here we go. Another fight at the front. No Adepts here to kind of tank against this as ByuN doesn't split brilliantly against the Disruptor, but does minimize the damage he takes. Harstem being pushed back in towards his base. A few more units will, he needs the Adepts to do the tanking here. Without the Adepts, he just doesn't have the rest of his army staying alive long enough to stay in these engagements. He's got so much money in the bank as well. Harstem's really struggling to spend all of those minerals. That float has been happening for about a minute and a half or so. I gave him the benefit of the doubt before, but this is really just continuous now. Unable to spend the money. As we see a Disruptor shot will clean out a Widow Mine. I mean, Widow Mine on the high ground picking off 11 workers. Wow. Time of his life, that Widow Mine. Another Disruptor shot comes in, only gets a Marine or 2. And Harstem still just trying to push this back, trying to maintain his position in the game. Blinking forwards again. Widow Mine's going to continue to be cleaned out here. A Disruptor shot or a Widow Mine shot going off. I mean, the Widow Mines are just doing so much, and ByuN is just continuing to trade because of it. He's softening up the Adepts so he can get rid of those, and then he gets access to the weaker units, the more easily killed units, such as the Stalkers, such as even the Immortals to some extent. They're very quickly targeted down. And, you know, maybe not the softer target, but one single target that's very valuable to kill off, you know? You know, why you may want to kill off, you know, you may be able to kill a lot of Stalkers quickly. You might be able to reduce that one Immortal very quickly because there's only one of them, right? So, able to get into there quickly, and Harstem in the end has to GG out. He just can't maintain an army against this continued pressure of ByuN.